It's a telling sign of Rotorua's tough economic times. Rain or shine, desperate families line up every afternoon at this vacant toilet block for emergency food supplies. Fruit, veggies and items donated from local supermarkets and cafes are offered for free to help take some of the financial pressure off whānau.
This time, 3 years ago, we were dealing with predominantly single males between the age of 45 and 70. Now we're dealing with family units, complete family units, so mum, dad, the kids. We've got beneficiaries. We've got full-time working parents who are sleeping in their cars with their kids.
New Zealand's tourism capital is grappling with its own housing crisis. Once the sightseers have gone home, this public park is a haven for the homeless.
Yeah, this is where we used to sing in here.
Oh, they've blocked it up.
Yeah.
How many of you would have lived here?
Only 2 of us. Yeah.
68-year-old Ombre Tahuriorangi lived in this derelict shed tucked away on Rotorua's government gardens for 9 months. He was one of the hidden homeless, people with no fixed address, living rough on the street.
It can happen to anyone. That's what I was trying to tell people. It can happen to anyone.
Rotorua now has the second highest rate of homelessness in the country. What's happening here is a direct result of Auckland's overheated property market.
You can get 1.5 times what your house is worth. The Auckland buyers are coming and buying those houses and not returning them to the rental market. They're actually living in them. So that stock of rental housing we had has diminished by quite a lot.
And when families here fall on hard times, they turn to Gina Peiffer and her husband Elmer. For 3 years, the couple have run their own charity, Love Soup Rotorua.
It's all done for love. It's all done because there's a need. I just don't get it. When do people stop caring about people?
This church hall is where Elmer sets up for their daily dinner service. For the past 3 years, the couple have been serving home-cooked meals to the homeless.
When you're hungry, you can't focus on anything else. So let's take care of that hunger need and then see what follows.
But over the past 18 months, they've gone from serving meals to finding homes.
People started coming to us and saying, oh, do you have sleeping bags, do you have blankets, do you have clothes? And then finally, one of them came to us and said, can you get me a house?
Tell Bessie what happened tomorrow. Huh? Meeting them.
Ombre has spent much of his life on the streets. So it's 2-bedroom, is it?
Yeah.
Until he finally moved into this rental last year. What's the biggest difference?
The biggest difference is you know you've got something to go back to. When you're out on the street, you don't really... You've got nothing to go back to. Excellent.
He's one of the lucky ones. At the end of 2016, there were 87 applications for people needing social housing in Rotorua. Out of those, only 11 stated that they were homeless. But Gina believes the numbers are much higher.
I mean, I can pull out all the files of everyone we've housed in the last year and a half, and it's over 100. You know, the files that I've got for people that we've housed just this year alone, that's well over 20 already.
Do you think those figures are accurate?
Well, they're only accurate as much as people want to give us information. And you're right, some people don't want to say that. I mean, who in their right mind would want to say they don't have accommodation, they don't have a roof over their heads?
Associate Minister of Social Housing, Alfred Ngaro, says his team in Rotorua are working hard to open up more housing.
We've got 37 places we're wanting to bring online. At the moment, there are 7. So they're bringing in now. There are 7 existing transitional emergency housings that are there.
Just 7 houses, well short of the emergency housing that's needed right now. Ngaro was promoted into this cabinet job 4 months ago, but is yet to see the problem with his own eyes. Have you been to Rotorua, Minister?
I haven't been down there yet. I've been going up and down the country. I am down to go to Rotorua, and I think that's important because it is one of the hotspots that we have.
Due to the demand for rentals, landlords can charge top dollar. In Rotorua, an average two-bedroom home will be anywhere between $250 to $400 a week.
Rents are going up so that even if there is a house available, they can't afford to pay that rent. The rents are astronomical now.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I just want to give up.
Aroha is desperate to get out of this $400 a week two-bedroom unit that's in atrocious condition. It's an outrageous amount for a place that hasn't even got hot water. But it's better than living on the street. Aroha's reached breaking point.
Oh, I'm over it.
How bad did it get for you?
I have had a couple of suicidal moments that I've been taking it out on my daughter. Just stressed out. I've been drinking a lot too. Just to block it all out.
We have more than a handful of people who had actually attempted suicide because they're homeless, because they don't know where to go, they don't know what to do. They are suffering stress and anxiety and depression, and that then flows on to their kids who start failing at school.
Another issue Gina now sees regularly are whānau who've been given 90-day evictions to vacate rentals.
Since this market turnover, it's been predominantly families that are being pushed out of the homes. They're getting a benefit or they're working to pay the rent, but they can't pay power and they can't pay food. So they still have a shortfall somewhere.
32-year-old Patrick Perston moved into this flat a week ago. Before that, he was one of Rotorua's car population, parking up on the lakefront.
What was that first night in the car like?
Horrible. I was just too wide awake. I couldn't sleep. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know what was going on around me, you know, even though there was other people also sleeping in their cars.
He'd lost his job, his relationship broke up, and Patrick was left out in the cold.
It was quite horrible. It's quite horrible. Even for the first week, it was horrible. Trying to figure out how I'm going to get food, how am I going to get accommodation, how am I going to survive?
But worse than not having a home was losing custody of his 3-year-old daughter because he was living rough.
Yeah, everything is just cut out because of the situation that I'm in. I can't hold my daughter, I can't have my daughter. I never thought in a million years that would happen to me.
Love Soup really is run on Gina and Elma's big hearts. They can't ignore people like Patrick who've fallen through the cracks. They've helped hundreds out of a makeshift office in their modest rental home and live off Gina's sickness benefit. She suffers from an autoimmune disease that pretty much prevents her from leaving home. Love Soup has a 98% strike rate, finding whare, impressive results for a couple who barely survive financially. While some agencies will only provide support for a limited time, Love Soup's in it for the long haul.
When these other agencies pull out after their 3-month term, we're the only ones left there holding the ball and still supporting these people because they still need it. 3 months is too short. You can't put a timeline on that sort of assistance.
Gina's fed up with government organisations and NGOs who are paid to help vulnerable families not doing their job, relying on unpaid providers to do the work for them.
They all just sit back and they go, oh, you need housing, go and see Love Soup. Oh, you need support with this or advocacy with that, go and see Love Soup. So why does it come back on our shoulders? Yeah. If they want to give me some of their funding, I'll quite happily take their clients.
Do you think it's acceptable that a charity with absolutely no funding take the lead in this area?
Our belief as a government is that not all the answers lie with government. I mean, our departments also too offer a lot of support. They've also too been able to be successful in placing and housing families as well. But there are some that actually need another type of approach. And in that cases, Elmer and Gina provide that for them.
But after much soul-searching, Gina and Elma have decided they can't take on any more homeless clients. They'll keep on with the massive job of preparing and organising the meals, but can't keep up with the demands on the housing side of their charity work.
It was incredibly hard, and I'm overwhelmed with the number of families I've got, and I know more are coming each day. What am I meant to do with them?
You're stepping back in order for others to step up.
Yep. And I just feel for the families that we're working with and for the families out there that haven't even connected with us.
Patrick is an example of how Love Soup can change lives. With their help putting a roof over his head, he's back on the right track to have his daughter again.
What does it mean to you to have people like that in your life at that time of your life?
You know, they're giving me hope. They help me through everything that I've gone through. They don't judge you. They don't minimise you. They don't look, you know, they actually see equal.
With Love Soup out of the mix, the new homeless are likely to stay that way. And it breaks Gina's heart that they don't have the resources to cope with the increasing demand for their help.
What are those agencies doing? What are they providing? Who's going to actually be there to provide for all those families? I don't know who's going to help them.